proper like. Stop at the light, pull up, then drive to the right. It's so good to be back home, homie, where the feeling is right. Nigga, home, sweet home, chromes, battle zones, world wars, boys and girls.
When you look at Mexicans or Hispanics or Cubans, you can even say Haitians or Jamaicans and Africans, every other ethnicity that came here on their own, a few was able to come here, get established, bring the rest, they move in together, they build their own communities because it was by choice that they came here. But as you say, the nigga nation was snatched and robbed and brought here. And then, you enslaved 400 years. White people were able to get free labor.
I disagree with that. Let me tell you why. Because that's not our story. All this shit about niggas being snatched up and slaves for 400 years, that's not our story. So we got to stop. We got to stop regurgitating that story for the simple fact that everyone has family records out there. And if you go get the United States Census records, it will show you where your family is from, who your family members are, who the siblings or the children are. It will give you all those details. And the further you go back and get your family records, you'll be able to see that your people come from tribes here. They come from Indian tribes here. This is why everybody don't want you to claim the term Indian. Have you noticed that? Everybody wants you to claim everything else but Indian. They want you to claim Black, Negro, African American, African, Aboriginal. They want you to claim all this shit but Indian. You ain't noticed that yet?
So of course they're going to be ahead. And then once they say, okay, we quote unquote free, you free with no assets. So you really building up from complete zero in 3 generations.
But check this out. You have to go back to the Reconstruction era.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why all these foreigners are able to come over here is because the government is taking care of these foreigners. Straight the fuck out. The government is taking care of the foreigners. Uh, every nigga that's working here in America is paying taxes. Those taxes is going towards taking care of these foreigners. And this is why niggas in the United States need to step up, work together, stop hating on each other. That way, we could check these foreigners. Because it don't make no sense that all these motherfucking foreigners can come over here, get benefits, access benefits, have all type of rights, but you the only nigga that's not getting paid. You the only nigga that's being taken advantage of. You the only nigga where this is your land, but you're misplaced on your own fucking land. Like, make it make sense.
Before when they was building the railroads in America.
Okay.
Black people thrive more than anybody. 1900s, 1910s, 1920s, black people, the black was vibrant. They had suits, they built Black Wall Street, they had Rosewood in Florida.
Because it wasn't that many foreigners here. That's what happens when you got niggas dealing with niggas, the money circulates. Everybody is eating. When niggas deal with niggas, money circulates and everybody eat. But when there's a gang of foreigners coming in and then they setting up shop in your neighborhoods, right? Our money don't circulate. It goes into their pockets, right?
Yeah.
We had Jones Street, 9th Street, downtown Fort Worth, so many black places. Detroit, black people was vibrant, right?
Mm-hmm.
During the right after the Reconstruction era. Start thinking about. We started wanting to migrate from the rural areas where we had land and we was thriving to these new developed places that they was building, cities.
Got you.
Right? So we started going to the big cities. getting away from our roots where we was from. So our family members.
So, as he was saying, getting away from our roots. Our roots were growing our own food, not depending on the government to feed us, not depending on nobody else to feed us. We were feeding ourselves in our communities. So, if I'm growing corn, my neighbor it might be growing fruits. We exchange, and then another neighbor or another family member might be growing something else. That's how the community was taking care of each other. And we got so far from that now we depend on food stamps. And then with that food stamps, now we're getting food from the government that's poisoning us, that's making us sick, that's giving us high blood pressure, that's giving us diabetes, cancer. But when we had our own shit, our own land and farming, what stress do you have? When you ain't gotta pay no taxes, you own the land, you can feed yourself and your family members and your neighbors. What stress do you have? All you the only stress you have in the world is just providing and then taking care of your children, defending your family and your community from people who's trying to intrude. But other than that, what stress do you have? Right? We had it good.
Members started following us, whoever went to the military, right? So we started forfeiting our land. We stopped wanting to wear coveralls, driving a tractor.
See, that's part of the story. What he's saying is true, but that's one part of the story. The other part of the story also was they were forcing our people to pay property tax. And remember, if you got a farm, or if you have your own land, how can they make you pay taxes on some shit that you own, right? I'm talking about lawfully, the law, where it says Indians are not taxed. How can they force you to pay taxes when your only work is to take care of your family? When your only work is your work, which is growing your own food, having your own harvest, having your own cattle. You didn't have to worry about working because your work was, like I said, growing your own food and taking care of your family. This is crazy.
We start conking our hair. Remember, we start conking our hair. We
Yep.
start wearing zoot suits. The jazz era. We stopped wanting to be country boys. We stopped wanting to work on the farm. Remember, we used to be construction men. We start wanting to be fly guys. So it ain't like we didn't have opportunity in this land and opportunity. We start wanting color televisions. We start wanting Cadillacs.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped wanting chickens. Then Dr. King come along, right?
Right.
Dr. King say, at first they started out saying, we got our own neighborhood. We got our own stores. We want equal protection. We want y'all to stop coming burning our stuff down like y'all done Wall Street.
Right.
We want equal justice. Equal protection, equal rights, and equal justice under the law is what the rights started out becoming. They went and found a dynamic preacher who could speak real good, and they changed the narrative to integration, segregation, desegregation. Let's go join them, Dr. King said.
Yeah, let's go join him. Dr. King did want us to join them. But see, like I always said, nobody who was marching and shit was able to see what was what was black people in America marching for. What was black people in the United States marching for? Niggas was being told equal this and equal that. But when you look at the Civil Rights Act of 1968, it says that black people, right, who were American Indians is underneath the United States, underneath the United States. I'm sorry, and they are inferior and subservient. That's what it says in the Civil Rights Act of 1968, that Indians which that's who the black people in the United States are, Indians, right? Not Africans, Indians. That black people as Indians is underneath or enslaved to the United States. Point blank, period. Right? So we did all that motherfucking marching just to be slaves. Just to be separated from the United States. This is why since then motherfuckers been talking about, oh, we want equal rights, we want this, we want freedom. MLK sold us out. His legacy is not bringing people together. MLK legacy is selling niggas out. When are we gonna realize that? When are we gonna keep it real? He sold us out. His legacy is your family's demise. Think about that. MLK legacy is your family demise.
That's when we lost. Let's go join them. Let's go eat at their restaurants. Let's ride they bus. Let's go to they schools. That's what we started fighting for. So when they said, okay, y'all can eat at our restaurants, we gonna take the signs down. Oh, yay. We stopped eating at Mud Hill, John, and started going over there across the railroad track eating at there. So now Mud Hill and them, Big Shirley and them opening up their spots, but we don't want to eat at their spots. The white folks wasn't fighting to eat at our places. We was fighting to abandon our businesses. We didn't want to go to our school. We felt go to their school because Dr. King said, let's go join them.